Good morning. Let's jump right into this Too Tall Toby level 4 challenge, the rocker bracket. We are in grams, and here we go. So, when I first tried this, I got started over here on this right hand side, trying to make this kind of geometry across the bottom. But interestingly enough, some of the dimensions come off the top of this round. So, really, we need to start over here in the front plane. So, we're going to start in the front. And, well, let's see here. Let's start with this circle. I'm going to start with the circle up at the top. We know the dimensions for that. So that is 200 above the axle at the bottom. It has a diameter of 57. All right, and then everything else kind of builds off of that. So we're not going to have a circle here. We're going to have an arc. That'll have a radius of 50. And we'll have some geometry that comes across and up. And we're going to have an arc that kind of connects those two. Tangent is perfect. So this radius way too big right now. Let's bring that down to 156. All right, let's talk about what we're seeing here. So, oh, okay. In fact, to get that mirrored, now we can give it this dimension. Okay, the overall outer dimension there is 250. All right. Now the locations. This is the interesting one. So we know that the circle is 200 above the axle location. Okay. And then we know that the bottom of this lip is 200 below the top of the arc. And then this edge here, 65, goes above the lip, and the lip is 20. So I think I'm just going to do the back flat. I'm going to do the 65. I'm not going to include this lip. So the dimension will go from the top of the arc to here, and that'll be 200 minus 20. And we have this distance here as 65 from the top of the lip. Yep, that's what I want. All right, we're going to be able to just extrude this. So let's get rid of that, have a nice closed loop, and let's extrude that. Okay, just a depth of 20. Right, and so many different ways to think about this. Let's see here. So we went with the top of the lip. You know what? I'm going to extrude on that back plane a rectangle. There we go. Make that depth of 20. And let's make this stick out that full 70. Do I want to add the round? I will add the round after I make these two end pieces. So let's make an extrude on here. Let's add a circle from the center. All right, we're going to go tangent here. We're also going to make it tangent on the other side. Okay, we're going to add another circle for the hole. This hole has a diameter of 35, and we'll need to go up and over and down, and we can trim this piece. All right, so let's flip that. This depth is going to be 250 minus 210, which is 40 divided by 2. And then we're going to extrude 2 concentric holes here and here. And the outer hole is 50. Okay, we're going to extrude that for a depth of 10. Okay. And those two geometries we will mirror over the center plane. Okay. And now we will add the round. The inner one is 30. The outer one is 50. And I think it's time to just drop the ribs on. So I'm going to select the profile rib option. And I need a datum plane, but I don't have one yet. So let's make one on the fly. Right, we're going to offset from the right plane, and we're going to offset that a value of 100 divided by 2. Right, and resume our profile tool, and just drop the line in here. Okay, we've got a dimension of 25 to the vertical, so we can do 90 minus 25. And flip it the other way. All right, let's check which direction we're going. So the 100 is on the inside. We do need a width of 10. Might make it a little obvious or a little more obvious. There we go. So the 100 is going to the inside, so that is on the correct side. Okay. And we'll take that profile rib and mirror it over the right plane. Okay. So the reason I made the plane on the fly, it embeds it inside the profile rib, not cluttering up our model tree, doesn't show up in the main window. And yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. Let's see how we did. Take a spin around. Looking pretty good. I got no other radii showing up that I'm worried about. Okay, so let's check this out. And awesome, we got it. Fantastic. So interesting here, we've got, let's see, how did I do? Oh, it didn't, top 100? How did I do? Oh, 37, nice. So I could try mirroring this at the same time. I think I might have a little bit more work to do with the rounds if I did that. So let's see what happens. Let's just play this out. Let's delete the round. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to kind of do a little bit more reworking on that profile rib. I think I could do it, but I think when I add the round, I'd have to add all 3 corners at the same time instead of a single click to add the round. I think I'd have to make it as 3 separate features. Might be worth it just to have a single mirror. Otherwise, we could make the part as just a half and then mirror the entire part once we are done. So a couple of different methods to jump into that one. I'm a little surprised by locating this edge here relative to the top. That's a surprising method of dimensioning that particular geometry. I would have expected to see essentially some clearance inside here, locating the top of this channel relative to the axis that it would pivot around. But other than that, not too bad, not too bad.